Good day, everyone. Welcome to Global Government News. Today is Friday, October 22nd, 2010, and I'm Darko. Welcome to this War on Terror, which is really a war on liberty and our sovereignty news segment. I recommend all new listeners to please visit my website at www.ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. We're going to start off here with a WikiLeaks, at least 109,000 killed during Iraq War. And this is, of course, the new, it's not really the new system, but this is just the way it works, okay? The powers that be do believe in some kind of a balance, I guess you can call it, of karma. And what they do is they have to tell you what they're doing. They have to tell you what they're doing to you, and a lot of times people or sheeple, they'll consent to their own enslavement, and most of the time they do, and most of the time they do it because they're unaware that that those that are offering a solution are actually out for themselves, and that's why I call them the naive, because they actually believe that these solutions are going to suit them or their interests better or more than the people offering the solution. That's what I call it, mind control. That's my kind of my definition of mind control. And so here we go here, where the establishment media is going to come out and leak information. So this is basically what we're talking about here. This is my point that I'm trying to make right off the bat. Is that the world that we live in, truths will come out. They will surface, and when they do, they'll be called leaks. And they're not really leaks; they're just information that the military-industrial complex is disclosing to the sheeple so that they know what is going on. But they don't. But they always do it after the fact. And this is the thing: everything that's going on now will be disclosed to the public 30 years down the road and then 50 years down the road. Why? Because by then, people, they're pretty much going to say, well, we already knew that, and what are we going to do now? We got to look forward. And we keep doing it, and that is the system that is used. And so this is what you got here, a bunch of information that most people that were screaming bloody murder back in 2002 and 2003, 2004, 2005, all the people protesting every weekend, I see them on the streets for the Iraq War. After all that, saying, oh, this has to be done, now they're coming out and disclosing what was actually done. The only reason I spent time on this story is because I wanted to explain my thoughts on the whole leaking of information by the establishment and why they do it and the timing of it. And that's just the way they do it. And they do it 20, 30 years on the road because there's a whole new generation, and they have their own problems going on. And so that's just the way it is. WikiLeaks Iraq war log shows U.S. ignored torture allegations. The U.S. military gave a secret order not to investigate torture by Iraqi authorities. Pentagon logs on the Iraq war leaked by the whistleblowing website WikiLeaks has disclosed. So, anyways, Afghan aid work threatened by private security ban. Now, this is another thing about the media, too, is that a lot of these articles are actually advertising. They're advertising policies written up by corporations and think tanks that are corporations, such as the Council on Foreign Relations and the RAND Corporation. That's what these articles are for. They're selling some kind of policy. It's an advertisement, and it's public relations, really. But it says here a U.S.-funded program to bolster local governance and community development across Afghanistan said Friday that it will close down before the end of the year if President Hamid Karzai does not modify his ban on private security companies. So basically, Karzai, he must be against, community development and, bolstering local governments. He's just a dictator. Well, no, he's a puppet. And he wanted the private security companies out because of all the other crimes that they were committing, and fraud and murdering and that. but they'll use this as a way to sell it. So the Obama administration is scrambling to avert a crisis over the ban, which could force the cancellation or the delay of billions of dollars in reconstruction projects considered vital to counterterrorism efforts. And this is what the military-industrial complex is for any new listeners. It's about contracts. It's about creating a war and blowing shit up, and then having these private contractors coming in there and getting all these bids to these contracts. And so I dug up this article from The Hill, and this is actually from October 7th, 2010. It says, Senate panel, U.S. money was funneled to Afghan warlords with links to violence. The leading Senate panel on military affairs has found that several private security contractors in Afghanistan funnel money from their Pentagon contracts to warlords and strongmen linked to murder, kidnapping, and bribery. It says the private security contractors at the center of the year-long Senate Armed Services Committee investigation also used U.S. taxpayers' money to pay off individuals who supported the Taliban or took action against NATO coalition forces in Afghanistan, according to Senator Carl Levin, panel's chairman. So there you go. And we're moving on here. The prosecutions of Blackwater military contractors going airy. And it says this week the Justice Department announced that despite a lengthy investigation, it was dropping the case against Andrew Moonen, a Blackwater armorer who was accused of killing an Iraq guard in 2006. The news was just the latest example of how the government's efforts to prosecute employees of the controversial security contractor, which is now known as the XC Services, are falling apart, reports the Times. And so here's another article that is a public relations advertisement, and they're trying to sell more policy. They're trying to sell a package today that Clinton, Secretary of State Clinton, just proposed to pay Pakistan however many it was. It was a lot. It was like $100 billion or something like that over the next 5-year period. So they got to put out articles like this to sell that, right? Pakistan. And it's not going to go to the Pakistani people, it's going to go to the corporations, right? That's what we were just talking about. Pakistan struggles to hold gains against Taliban. They must not have enough money. For Pakistan's army, ejecting militants from safe havens near the Afghan border has proven to be an easy part. The problems come later. The guerrillas creep back and carry out attacks. Civilians never return. Let's not forget the big floods that hit Pakistan and displaced hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. And there's a very good chance that little storm was man-made or man-induced, and that was used as a political weapon, as political strategy to displace people and then go in there and be the savior. And we move it in here. We're going to check out this video.
Another week of violence in Pakistan. Unrest in Karachi has left dozens of people dead at the same time that the U.S. and Pakistan have been meeting in Washington as part of the U.S.-Pakistan strategic dialogue. On Friday, U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton pledged more support for Pakistan.
In keeping with our enduring commitment to help Pakistan plan for its defense needs, I am pleased to announce our multi-year security assistance commitment to Pakistan. We will request $2 billion in foreign military assistance from Congress for 2012 through 2016. This will complement the $7.5 billion in civilian projects that has already been approved in the Kerry-Lugar-Berman legislation.
The military assistance, which must be approved by Congress, would be delivered over 5 years from 2012 to 2016.
The United States has no stronger partner when it comes to counterterrorism efforts against the extremists who threaten us both than Pakistan.
And so there you go, folks. And that's just a bunch of crap, right? Because there's the Pakistani ISI that was has links to the Mumbai attacks, the bombing attacks. And then, she's talking about how they're just, going to take this money and it's going to be used to fight terrorism. And then you go to this, and it's CIA funds ISI, ISI funds Taliban, al-Qaeda. And that's basically what it's talking about. The CIA has made a historic mistake in encouraging Islamic groups from all over the world to come to Afghanistan. The U.S. provided $3 billion for building up these Islamic groups, and accepted Pakistan's demand that they should decide how this money should be spent. The old associations between the intelligence agencies continue. The CIA still has close links with the ISI, Pakistani's inter-service intelligence. Says today that money and those weapons have helped build up the Taliban. Harrison said Taliban are not just recruits from madrasas, which are also funded by Western powers, and it says, but are on the payroll of the ISI. The Taliban are now making a living out of terrorism. And you can check this out yourself, but basically it's the money comes from the United States, goes to the puppet regime in Pakistan, and then that money goes to the corporations and goes to the Taliban. So this says U.S. halts aid to Pakistani army units over abuses. Says the United States has cut off aid to Pakistani army units believed to have killed unarmed prisoners, an extraordinary censor of a key U.S. ally in the battle against the Taliban, the U.S. official said on Friday. The official said the cutoff was required under U.S. law, which forbids funding of foreign military units that are singled out for gross human rights violations. They would not say how many units were affected. That's funny because I have an article here that talks about the U.S. Basically violating human rights, basically huge human right violators. So, but that's what we are. We're a bunch of hypocrites. But that's what I was talking about. If you want to overtake your enemy, what you want to do is you want to modify, you want to manipulate their environment and get everything all stirred up so that they're confused, distracted, and then you come in there, the one who caused the whole situation to begin with, you come in there with money and aid and troops and helicopters and say, we're going to help you. You see? That's how it works, guys. The old school, just, two armies going at it, shooting each other and falling to the ground. Those days are over. This is the new modern warfare. And so you move on here. It says Pakistan denies approving U.S. airstrikes. Pakistan's Prime Minister Gilani says the Islamabad government has never authorized the U.S. to launch missile attacks on its soil. Said the former president Musharraf had approved surveillance flights by U.S. drones over the country, not missile attacks. And we're running short on time here, so this is the Stars and Stripes. Just read this headline. NATO commander expresses concern over potential security issues caused by melting Arctic ice. You can check out that. All the links are posted, just as always. Every link is posted under the video in the description, so please check those out. This next one is titled CIA was warned about bomber of Afghan base. A CIA officer was warned that the Jordanian double agent who blew himself up at a U.S. base in Afghanistan, killing 7 Americans, I think they were CIA agents, might have been working for al-Qaeda. Oh, look at that. al-Qaeda, yet did not tell his bosses. And this is interesting, too, because this is right after this happened, there was an article that said that the CIA vowed revenge, and they did. They carried out, massive airstrikes, killing lots of people, including civilians, right after that, dude, for, a whole week. I mean, the killings just really escalated after that, so they did get their revenge. And lo and behold, you find out the CIA was warned about the bomber of the Afghan base. So they see, that's false flag terrorism, folks. Flying the flag of your enemy, but and allowing yourself to be attacked. This is all the modern warfare, and they've been doing it for a good 100 years at least. Worthy proposes jail for parents who skip kids' school conferences. Prosecutor wants to punish those who skip kids' school conference. And check that one out. Obama's border patrol chief gives illegals road to citizenship. Let Mexicans work here legally in the future. Virtual border fence, a $1 billion failure. Well, it's not a failure because they call it's a surveillance grid to catch drug and human traffickers with cameras, vibration sensors, and other high-tech devices. What does that look like? It looks like those things are all along the side of the expressways, right? I know they're wireless towers, but they got cameras and all kinds of gadgets, dude. Those are invisible fences. Spain expected to ban smoking in bars and cafes. Senate candidate used active duty troops in security detail. That's right, he took out a blogger, journalist, and arrested. Terrorist in Chechen parliament attack eliminated. Yeah, they just killed him. Israeli drone buzzes over Lebanon sky. Convoy attacked in Afghanistan. Again, you guys need to pay the Taliban, dude. You're going to get attacked. How the U.S. Army protects its trucks by paying the Taliban. Thank you.